We all have those days, um, those ones that are those memory makers. A day we mourn on, a day we celebrate, a day we make a memory of in some way. And every year when it comes up, it affects us in some way. I know you have those days, I have those days. And so today, I I want to commemorate something, and I want to recognize and give myself grace for how far I've come. I also want you to know in a real, tangible, raw way of why I can say you are not alone. So, just to, okay, we'll just go right into it. On this day in 2018, I got up in the morning and I did everything like I normally did. I got everything ready like I would on any other day. Did my 10 miles on my bike, went and got my daughter up for school. She was 8 years old at the time, a few months from her birthday yet. I got her up for school, and her and I both knew at least the general plan for the day. I gave her a hug and I gave her a kiss. I took her out to the bus. I explained to the bus driver what would be going on that day. Under no circumstances was she to get dropped off at home. Matter of fact, she wasn't even supposed to get on the bus. She knew this, but he was going to make sure and have her back by double checking just in case she forgot. And then I went back inside and I started getting things around. I started writing a letter, and I took my house key off the key ring and set it on the counter. I did the dishes, picked up the counters, I got the bills out and I laid them across the roll top desk and got a piece of notebook paper and wrote everything out exactly the way he liked it every week, and I set it all nice and neat on the roll top so that it would be there in front of him. I started making sure that the suitcase was packed, and I was um, taking advantage of every single space possible as I started packing the car. And I took my suitcase out. I had finished my letter by now and had packed a lot of the car. The suitcase itself was very large, like one of those massive, biggest in the bunch set of suitcases kind of a deal. Bigger than me. Bigger than me. And so I had wedged this, used all my strength to wedge it up on the back of the car into the trunk so I could just kind of like shove it in. And I realized that I was going to rip up my suitcase if I did that because of the trunk latch. And so I dropped it back down into the driveway and I kind of took it around to the side a little bit and continued to do everything I was getting done. I thought, oh goodness, I should probably vacuum before I go. So I've taken care of all the responsibilities. I've left nothing but necessities. And I've left no mess behind. And then all of a sudden, because mind you, in the midst of it all, I'm still getting messages from him as he's at work. And he's messaging these crazy messages like, what would you want for Mother's Day? Would you like a spa day? Well, you can send you to the spa. Or better yet, I'll do a spa day for you. I'm not fully sure, even in this moment, how to respond to something like that. 25 years. Yes, I said 2, 5, 25 years. Not in that entire time had he ever went out of his way in a manner quite like that. Best example, I was pregnant with my middle daughter, and I used to beg for my hair to be brushed. I think I got him to do it very grudgingly one time. Not a dig, just an observance. So I'm kind of discombobulated and distracted by this a little bit, and I'm still working around the house, and all of a sudden, like, my stomach dropped out and my mind stopped and everything just stopped, and I knew that hell was coming down the road to me. It was a feeling. Nobody showed up, but I promise you it lit a fire under me like nobody's business. I rushed out to the car. I packed in a very haphazard manner after that as I rushed and rushed and rushed. It's just a couple of hours after I've put my youngest on the bus. I need to get this done and get going. And so I get out. I've got to put the suitcase in the car still. And so I go, and now I don't have the strength. I've been running back and forth. I hadn't been eating well. My oldest daughter had passed. Our oldest daughter had passed just 3 months previous to this. So I wasn't in good health anyways. And so I'm trying to get this suitcase into the car, and I'm trying all the ways. I try to get it up on the edge of the car, and I try to go climb through the car and try to pull it up to me. Any way that I can think of that I might be able to get this suitcase in the car. For whatever reason, I didn't think, unzip the suitcase, pitch everything into the car. For whatever reason, I felt like I needed to get that suitcase in the car. But I knew that I couldn't, and I didn't have any more time. I'd already had that feeling back there, and it was getting worse by the minute. It was gripping my heart. And so I recognized, and I stopped, and I called out for my help. I literally looked up in the sky next to my car, and I said, Jesus, Jesus, your strength, because I don't have any left. And I put my hand on the suitcase, and it went into my back seat, but I will take no credit for it. Because honestly, I didn't even feel it. And then I went and got some bottles and cans that I had collected, crammed them into the trunk. And then I got in my car and I drove down the driveway. Just under an hour after I had that feeling. And then I went to the town next to us, and I got signed into our domestic violence shelter there. Carried our stuff in so that Tegan wouldn't have to deal with any of that part. My youngest. And then I drove back to Marshall. Oh my gosh. Then I drove back to Marshall to get her from school. And when she got in the car, I don't remember exactly what she said, but I remember the smile on her face being so big. as we got on the highway and drove away from Marshall. I don't remember what we ate. I don't remember what we did or how we settled in or any of those things. But what I do remember is wrapping my arms around my daughter in the bottom bunk of the bunk beds that we slept on. We had my tablet, we were watching a show, and I had it positioned just right on the bunk above us so that we could watch it hanging. And in that moment, I was so thankful and so at peace and so confirmed in what I was doing was right, that I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve what I had went through. My children didn't deserve what they went through. And the confirmation, funny enough, came from the fact that we were assigned the same exact room that I had been in over a decade earlier with my middle daughter. I am not in that place anymore. And yet I still have a lot of healing to do. But what I can tell you is that that was then, and this is now. And I get to choose every single day how to use my freedom. And I do not always steward it well. But I am learning through healing to make better choices, to revel in the fact that I get to make a choice, and to allow myself to just be. I know you've been through it too. I know your story is a no-joke story. You're not alone. You are welcome at this table. You are not going to come and tell me or share with me, or I doubt anybody that ever gets involved in any of this. You're never going to come and tell us something that we don't know. Something too bad to have not heard at some point. This is natural. To feel so alone, and then to come across someone who went through abuse, went through trauma, has these generational chains that they drag along with them. And I think what you're going to find most of the time is a gratefulness that they're not alone either. So on this day, May 7th, 2026, as I celebrate 8 years and I begin another new chapter in my life, I am living proof that no matter how hard you've been knocked out, The getting back up is worth it. It is. And I'll sit with you until you feel comfortable with it. Blessings to you and yours. I wrap my arms around you and cherish you today. I pray that you are free too. And I pray for you more if you're not. Be blessed, my friends. I'll see you soon.